Hey guys, what's up? It's Caden. It is Tuesday right now, but this will be posted on Wednesday, so it will be Wednesday with Caden on your Fruit Loops. And I want to apologize for not making my video last week. I got a few messages from people saying how they're kind of looking forward to seeing my video, seeing some of my baby pictures. Sorry, I have school and a job and got a life to live. So I'm sorry I didn't do that. Maybe I'll post some on my personal channel eventually, but oh well. I don't know if it's the hat or what, but I feel like I look particularly Justin Bieber-like today. Maybe it's the cardigan thing? I don't know. Alright, so this week's topic is a book or two that maybe helped you accept who you are or assisted you during coming out. As far as like the whole lesbian thing, I didn't read any books because I had movies to do that for me. Lots of gay movies and shows. Oh, weird, what up? So I didn't really need that for the whole coming out as gay thing. But for, like, trans guys, there aren't really any movies out there, except Boys Don't Cry, I think was the only one that I knew of when I was coming out. And that movie scared me. So I looked to books for learning about the trans experience, I suppose. And the first book that I ever read about gender and whatnot was called Self-Made Man by Norah, Vincent. And it's not technically a trans guy book, but it's about this journalist. She is a lesbian, but she's not like particularly butch identified. She's kind of like, hey, I have short hair. That kind of lesbian. So she goes undercover as a guy and just writes about her experience. It's more of like a gender study book, but I turned it around and used it in my favor. And actually, I was reading it at a time when I was just really confused about my gender, and as I read the book more and more, she sort of analyzes these situations and tries to get into the male brain, and as I was reading it, I was like, oh, I'm more of a dude than I thought. So that was a huge, huge help for me in accepting who I am and whatnot. So the next two books my doctor recommended for my parents, because I was 17 when I transitioned. My parents had to be there for all my doctor's meetings, basically. And so the first book that she recommended, I don't have a physical copy. I think I gave it away. It's called True Selves. It's sort of the trans version of Loving Someone Gay, if you've ever heard of that book. And I read it too. She told me to read it first and go through and like highlight stuff that was relevant, and I didn't find anything relevant. So it was more of like a textbook. It sort of just describes sort of the science behind being trans, and I don't even remember. I didn't like it. I really won't recommend it to other people, but I suppose maybe it could help someone. The next book was Becoming a Visible Man by Jamison Green, and I love this book. Because it's kind of like, you know how there's all these people on YouTube who are doing, like, trans vlogs? Well, before, I guess, YouTube came along, I guess, you know, you wrote a book. And that's what Jamison Green did. He wrote out his whole experience, his whole transition, and just reflected on it, how he changed physically as well as mentally and socially, and I really liked it. My parents supposedly read it. I don't think they actually did, but you know, they had the book, so I think that counts for something, I think. I wouldn't totally recommend books as your only source for trans information. I would really talk to real trans people or go on YouTube, because everybody's trans experience is different. So just reading one book by one person is just one trans person's perspective. We're unique. We are like snowflakes. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Trans people are like snowflakes. No one else is, just trans people. We're all only snowflakes. You guys are all the same. Speaking of snowflakes, apparently it was snowing places yesterday. I'm not okay with that. Anyway, peace guys, have a good week.